Straight ahead on WBKB, President Biden issues a wave of orders to fight the pandemic.
Plus, find out why the state of Michigan is being sued, and the MLK Committee of Alpena announces a new community workshop.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz. On his first full day in the White House, President Biden signed several executive orders relating to his plan to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. Through one order, Biden establishes the position of COVID-19 response coordinator within the executive government. This is an effort to coordinate the federal government's efforts to produce, supply, and distribute COVID-19 supplies, such as vaccines and tests, through the Defense Production Act. This act was put into place by Franklin Delano Roosevelt to manufacture wartime materials during World War II. Biden's goal is to distribute 100 million vaccines by April. The order also refers to coordinating federal government resources to safely open in-person education and child care operations.
Well, just one day after President Biden's peaceful transition of power, the woman accused of stealing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's laptop is freed from jail. WBKB's Stephanie Menici spoke with a New York clinical psychologist who weighed in on the thought process of those who stormed the Capitol earlier this month.
According to the Associated Press, a federal judge released Riley June Williams, who faces charges for helping steal a laptop from Nancy Pelosi's office. Williams, along with many others, stormed the Capitol last week in a violent and hateful attempt to interrupt President Biden's electoral victory. Clinical psychologist Carol Valentine says the past 4 years have given power to hate that never died.
It doesn't mean that in 4 years people became hateful. It means that in 4 years, people felt unified and emboldened and entitled to deliver their hate and speak their hate and act on their hate.
Valentine says hate groups have grown 600% since 2016. She explains the personality traits of hate groups.
In psychology or psychiatry, we think of them as people who have antisocial personality disorders and narcissism.
Valentine says many of these people idolize someone with power. She says their leader will speak a language they understand.
We are. I love you. These are the things the president says. We're going to stop the steal. So creating this fallacy that somebody took something from them makes them feel entitled to take it back by any means necessary.
Many who stormed the U.S. Capitol held out hope that former President Trump would use his last hours to grant them full pardons. As for now, Democrats are pushing for a later trial against Trump to allow President Biden time to set up his administration. In Alpena, Stephanie Menici, WBKB News.
And thank you for that, Stephanie. Well, District Health Department number 4 has added additional COVID-19 vaccination dates in our viewing area. The added dates are in response to the State Health Department's current vaccination phase, which includes 65 years or older. This also includes 1A healthcare workers, frontline essential workers, that includes first responders, police officers, jail and prison staff, pre-K through 12 teachers, and child care providers. DHD4 staff and volunteers are scheduling clinics from the online pre-registration forms received. They ask that those who can pre-register online do so at dhdfor.org/COVID-19 vaccine. We will have the remaining clinic dates for January listed on our website.
Well, with construction almost complete at the new Alpena County Jail, excitement is building as staff plan the transition. However, the jail will need additional corrections officers to open prior to the February move-in. This comes after the jail administration asked the city's finance committee to hire 2 corrections officers to help with staffing at the new and larger facility. According to the administration, the jail won't be able to open unless it's fully staffed. How much the new hires employers would cost and where the money would come from is the big question. The Finance Committee tabled a proposal at yesterday's meeting when Jail Administrator Scott Gagne presented the request. Gagne was asked to bring back their research of total cost and funding options to the next commissioners' meeting.
If we don't have the ability of hiring new staff, we either have to wait to open the new facility or we have to force overtime on the current officers that we have.
Also at the meeting Wednesday, the Finance Committee approved the funding for a new police vehicle for the Sheriff's Department, a 2021 Chevrolet Tahoe. And the next meeting is scheduled for next Tuesday, January 26th, and we'll have more updates for you then. And the Alpena Township Board of Trustees met Thursday to discuss the 2021-2022 budget. No amendments were made, and the budget has not yet been approved. WBKB will have updates as the story progresses.
Well, a group of Michigan bowling alleys and roller rinks are suing the state over revenue lost during the pandemic. The 5 businesses suing the state are demanding compensation for lost revenue related to multiple state-ordered closures and restrictions. The lawsuit names Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and the department's director, Robert Gordon, as defendants. It's the latest legal challenge against business restrictions imposed by state officials during the ongoing pandemic. The attorney who filed the lawsuit Wednesday says it could either deter the state from issuing COVID-19 restrictions in the future.
To put businesses in a position where they can't meet their obligations, they can't pay employees, they can't pay their taxes, and then say, oh, well, I guess now we own your property because you didn't pay your property taxes. That is just so unjust.
Michigan bowling alleys were able to reopen December 21st after the Michigan Department of Health ordered them closed in mid-November. John Snyder of Alpena's Thunder Bay Lanes says although he's open, he has very high hopes that his concessions will also open on February 1st.
It's kind of hard. This is a strictly a voluntary thing to do, to go bowling and have some fun and be social. My main business income is not allowed to occur.
Well, state health officials say Michigan could lift its ban on indoor dining February 1st, depending on COVID-19 numbers. WBKB reached out for comment to several of the bowling alleys listed in the lawsuit, but was unsuccessful.
Well, it's a busy season for the Martin Luther King Jr. Committee of Alpena. On Monday, the organization announced the winners of their annual essay contest celebrating the life and legacy of the civil rights icon. Today, the committee is announcing a free community workshop to promote learning and to open the discussion about race and racism in a safe environment.
Can learning about racism take place without blame, shame, or guilt? And can it be positively engaging for everyone? And that's what we're aiming for, and that's certainly what LeBron is aiming for.
Nationally acclaimed storyteller LaRon Williams is the workshop presenter. Williams uses a blend of storytelling, participatory exercises, lecture, and dialogue. The workshop, Creating a Beloved Community, is scheduled for Saturday, January 30th. The presentation will include 3 interactive sessions that will take place over Zoom, beginning at 9:30 a.m. and ending at 3:30 p.m. with a lunch break in between. To register and receive a Zoom link, you can email the committee or call 989-354-2640. Well, there's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, online sports betting is fun.
Also have a chance of some lake effect snow showers for tomorrow. It gets even colder at the start of the weekend. More on the weekend forecasts coming up later in the program.
Thanks for that, Ellie. Well, online sports gambling is launching in Michigan tomorrow. Finally, yes, that's right. Bettors no longer need to travel to the casinos in person to place their bets. You can do it right from your phone. There are several online sports books to choose from to bet on anything from college football to foreign baseball leagues to horse racing. This comes after the governor and legislature legalized online gambling last winter. Officials have been working on devising rules and ways to monitor the new platforms all year. Now, we'll have more on this for you tomorrow in sports.
Well, federal student loan payments and collections have been put on pause until at least September. Aside from the executive orders signed into place to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, the Biden administration is also focusing on economic relief in their first days in office. In a statement, the White House says, at the request of President Biden, the acting Secretary of Education will extend the pause on federal student loan payments and collections and keep the interest rate at 0%. Too many Americans are struggling to pay for basic necessities and to provide for their families. They should not be forced to choose between paying their student loans and putting food on the table. Well, coming up on WBKB News, Ellie Morrison is next with your 7-day forecast, plus the photo.
The short description to news at WBKB11.com.
And what a nice picture.
Yeah, that was very nice.
These 30-degree days almost feel like beach weather with the weather that's coming up. Sports is next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is here with a preview. What's happening tonight, Jake?
Yeah, Tyler, next in sports, we'll announce the top play of the 2020 season in 11-man football. Don't miss that. Plus, forward Naz Hillman does the unthinkable in Michigan's game against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Find out what she did. Plus, we'll have highlights on this game and more up next in sports.
And welcome back. Big changes are coming to the TV streaming world and why Disney's Hall of Presidents was shut down on the day President Biden was sworn in. Danya Bacchus has today's Ion Entertainment report.
Disney has confirmed that it's adding President Biden's likeness to the Magic Kingdom's Hall of Presidents in Florida. The hall features all of the United States presidents and traces the nation's history. The show closed for refurbishment on Wednesday. It's unclear when it will reopen. Disney has also announced a start date for The Muppet Show on its streaming service. Fans can watch all 5 seasons starting on February 19th. For many viewers, it will be their first chance to see seasons 4 and 5. For a variety of reasons, they have never been released on home video or video on demand. And Viacom CBS has set a date for the launch of its new streaming service, Paramount Plus. It's set to go live in the U.S. on March 4th with content from across the company's news, sports, and entertainment divisions. CBS All Access, its current service, is being folded into Paramount Plus. That's your Ion Entertainment. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And as always, you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
Or be sure to check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
And that's all we have for you this evening. Be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.